help the local culture. And in 2015 they won the Human Rights Award, as you can see. I want to ask the Europeans, how did you react for like when the refugees come to? There's a lot of refugees came to Germany and France. Did you offer any help? Did you do anything for it?
I was not in Germany. I was working in Romania.
Really?
This was the time I missed this period.
It's alright. So, would you like to hear my story? Why did I flee? You all heard of the Arabian Spring? It started in Tunisia, Libya, then Egypt, then Syria. So, for us, it started in a city called Darha. It's in the south of Damascus. It's on the borders of Israel and Jordan. Shall I wait or shall I speak loudly? Okay. So, it started in Darha. It started by
Want to go outside?
I think too late.
Yeah. Oh.
I think he's
Attention. Express 22, Frankfurt am Main Hauptbahnhof. Scheduled departure time 17:50.
Like usually it's only lasts for like 1 minute, but now she never stops. So yeah, so it started 14 or 15 kids started it in Dara. They went to the streets and they started demonstrating against Assad. I think you all know Assad. This is sorry. Okay, this is the current president, and this is his father. They have been ruling Syria since almost 60 years or 50 years. Yeah. So they started demonstrating against this one. They went to the street and started painting on the wall. You should leave. You have to leave. You're next. You're gonna fall just like the other Arabian president. But the government or the army, when they hear that, they went furious. So they searched for the kids. They captured them and they put them in jail. They were kept in jail for like, I think, a week. And during this week, the people went furious and they wanted their kids to be out. So they started demonstrating against the government and saying, they're just kids, let them out. Yeah, luckily they let them out after 1 week, but the children were destroyed and they took out their nails, like most of them. All. The people saw that and they went more furious and they started demonstrating more and more. It started in Dara, then it went to other cities like Aleppo, Homs, Idlib, Damascus. After that, Russia came in, Lebanon came in, Iran came in, a lot of countries, a lot of groups. ISIS came out of nowhere. Then for me, like in 2015, like in Damascus, it was a lot better than other cities. Other cities were getting bombed by the Russian airplanes, but Damascus was secure. I could say it's secure. So, but wherever I walk, I remember that you could see army wherever you go. Like people with or army with the AK-47 just walking on the street. So whenever I walk, I was 17 back then. They start asking me, "Why aren't you fighting? Why are you just staying at home doing nothing?" I was a student back then, so I couldn't handle it. I got humiliated twice. I couldn't handle it after that. I told my father I want to flee. Then from there I bought a ticket to. Back then, Turkey didn't demand any visa for the Syrians. So this is my way. I bought the train ticket, the plane ticket from Syria. I took a bus to Lebanon. Then from Lebanon I went to a city called Adana. Then I took another plane to Istanbul. Then I have a brother in Istanbul. I stayed with him for 8 days. Then I tried, my first try, it was in a city called Çanakkale. Like you all know that I have to take this small boat with 40-50 people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I tried my first try in Çanakkale, but the Turkish police captured me. They sent me back and they kept me there for like 12 hours in like a prison with all our group. They captured all our group. They let go only the Syrians. The other people from other nationalities, it's like Iraq and Afghanistan and so many others, they didn't let them go. They were asked why, and they said only the Syrians were, like everyone was knowing what happens in Syria. So they were easy going with the Syrians. So they let me go. I went to Izmir, and then I tried my second try, and I made it. I paid $1,250 to take this trip with the boat, and I arrived to an island called Chios, as I remember, in Greece. It's only like 30 kilometers away from the Turkish shores. I went there. Then you all know that Greece is economically broken, so they cannot handle any refugees, especially like more than 1 million or 2 million went through Greece. So they just they were given like papers, legal papers that allowed the refugees to take the public transportation legally. So from there I bought the ticket in a big ship. This ship took me from Chios to Athena, and I only bought the ticket for like 35 euros, something like that. Then I took a taxi to the Greece island, to the Greece borders, to the Macedonian borders, excuse me. I stayed there for 1 day in a hotel. I had to download the map. We were only going like this. We go with taxis or train to the borders, then on the borders, we stop at the borders, at the hotel or something. We download the map, like an offline map, something like that, and we continue on. And we always have to cross the borders with our feet. So it was like this. I went to the Macedonian borders, then I crossed it with my feet, or like walking. Then I took a taxi to the Serbian borders, then I stopped also for 1 day in a hotel. Then I downloaded my map to the Serbian borders. I took a train to Belgrade. Then from Belgrade I stayed also for 1 day, as I remember. And I took a taxi to the Hungarian borders. And there was the hardest part for me, because the Hungarian government weren't that nice to the refugees or the people like us. So when I arrived to the borders, I saw a lot of police and a lot of dogs and a lot of people, more than 5,000-6,000 were on the borders. So that was horrible. Like we thought we never made it with that amount of police. Like we gave our fingerprint to the government. Once we give our fingerprint to the Hungarian government, then we have to go to Germany, because Germany is the only country that could erase the fingerprint from the system. Because basically, when you arrive to the first European safe country, you have to stay in it. So they took our fingerprint in Hungary, then we have to stay in Hungary. And Hungary wasn't that nice. So yeah, they captured a lot of people, but back then I was lucky. I followed the train track, and then I arrived to a village. I run in this village. I was with 3 friends for like 20 minutes. Then we found a taxi, and we told him, please take us to Budapest. But he demands 250 euros from each one of us. to take us to Budapest. We gave him the money, like we have to. We don't have another choice. We gave him the money, then we arrived to Budapest. In Budapest, the police was absolutely friendly. Nothing like they were on the borders. So they didn't do anything. There were like tons of refugees. We took the plane from the main station in Budapest to Vienna, and here we are. But yeah, actually, I didn't want to stay in Austria. I wanted to go to Norway. Because when I arrived here, I never heard of Austria because, yeah, in Syria I never heard of it, but I get to know it on the way. Like, I have to reach Austria, then I'll go on with my destination. Then I met an Austrian at the main train station, and he said, like here, I met him there, and he said, why don't you stay here? Why all the refugees wants to go further? Because most of them went further to Germany, Sweden, Denmark, and so many other countries. But yeah, like he invited me to his home. I was with two friends. He invited us, and we took his offer. We slept by his place for 2 days, and during these 2 days he explained a lot about Austria and the government, and then we decided to stay. And only 10% of the refugees decided to stay in Austria.
Most of them went on like northwards.
Yeah, most of them went, as I said, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark, and so many other countries.
So number-wise, how many? How many refugees?
Like in autumn, I think more than 1 million came across. More than 1 million. In 2015. Of course, there were a lot in 2014 and 2013. Because in Germany there's 1 million, more than 1 million. In Sweden there's more than 1 million. As I know. In Netherlands they're like 600,000. Here there are only 100,000.
And this was because of the Civil War?
Yes, of course.
Yes, okay, of course. We were just in Turkey recently. We heard that Turkey is going to expel Syrian refugees.
Yes, they already did.
They did?
A lot.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
They are threatening. They are basically threatening people in Turkey that they are gonna expel them if they there are no rules and you could be expelled at any time.
Oh yeah.
Like for no reasons. I know
Sure.
friends there that they are not sure if they are able to complete their universities or their jobs or anything because they are threatened to be expelled.
Yeah.
Any question for this station?
So when you were traveling, what did you have with you? What did you bring from Syria?
A power bank,
Okay.
of course. I had my phone, the most important thing, my phone. A lot of sneakers, to be honest. I had tons of sneakers in my bag. Dates, a lot of dates, and water. But yeah, the way wasn't that hard. Like it took me 22 days, 21 days. But yeah, that's it. And I had a bag on my shoulder, a big bag, and some clothes. That's it. But you know that the most important thing is food and the phone. Otherwise you'll be lost on the borders. Because you always have to check if you are on the right way or not when you walk.
Were there groups helping you?
What?
Were there groups helping you, like make
Like-
these decisions? And
Like most of the time there were a lot of groups. Like whenever you go to the border, you found that there's tons of people, but some of them could be wrong. So I always have to make sure. And even the GPS worked in the middle of the sea when I was in the boat. Like I told him, we are going to a mountain. Then he turned right. Really, we were going to a mountain when we were on the boat. Then he listened to me, then he turned a little bit right, and then we arrived at the shores.
So do you feel safe in Austria then, right now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I suppose.
I suppose. Okay, understood.
Are there refugees in other cities than Vienna?
Most of them are in Vienna, like 60,000, and the other 30,000, 40,000 are in Graz, Salzburg, and so many other cities.
So you talked about a lot of money. You
Yes.
said $1,250 to go on one of the boats.
Yes.
And then 250 euros per person to take the.
It cost me like, because I also have to sleep in other hotels. It cost me like 2,700 euros. But my cousin went in April. Like before me, I went out in September. My cousin went in April in 2015, and it cost him 6,000 because he have to pay for a smuggler in Hungary. 1,500 euros for the smuggler. So back then the road was harder, but in September the borders were kind of open. So I was lucky, I had luck. But the people before that, they paid a lot of money. And some of them went to go with, how can you say that?
Fake passport.
Fake passport. And there you have to pay like 10, 15.
Oh wow.
It's not even true.
Yeah, not always there.
How did you save up to do this, or did your parents help you? Or?
My parents give me all the money. I transferred the money to Turkey to my brother. Then I took like 400 or 500 euros, 400 or 300 euros with me to Greece, like in the boat.
Yeah.
And then when I arrived to Serbia, my brother transferred the money in the black market. Like there were like two groups, like there were people in Turkey, people in Serbia, and these people called. Okay, I have the man here. You can give him the money. I have the money. He gave me the money. He said, okay, I have the money. That's it. In the black market.
What's your legal status here? Are you protected to stay here?
Yes, I got signed grant.
And you can work, or?
Yes, I can study and work. I'm a student actually.
Oh, good.
Are there others that like don't have like protection and like can't
Of course.
work? Yeah.
Of course. I don't have the decision.